Been asked to cover regular savings plans. Everybody's new here, yeah? Yeah, I've seen your face for a while. So yeah, hopefully you've had some training on the products that we've got. But again, regulars are probably the quick wins that you guys need to get up and running, right? Earn a bit of commission. If you were at the launch party last week, you would have seen guys like Stuart Holmes, Ian Ross, 600,000 plus in terms of earnings, and probably not only because the guys are super good at their job, but one of the main reasons that you can hit those figures are because of the amount of assets under management that they've got, right? Cheers, bud, thank you. If you've got assets under management, it's going to make a big difference, right? If you've got 80 million under management, there's £400,000 before you even kick a ball at the start of the year, right? And that's where we all aspire to be, right? Your manager should be preaching that you really need to go out there and find AUM to make your job easier, right? But when you start, like I did 13 years ago, right, you need to go out there and earn some quick wins, right? And regular savings plans are probably the biggest, or the easiest way to do that, yeah? Now, everybody in Dubai has an expiry date, right? Not everybody is going to stay here for retirement. You may find people that have been here for many years, and in fact over the last few years they've brought in something where if you do hit certain KPIs you can actually retire here, right? Because you don't know what they are. The visa for retiring is renewable every 5 years. You must be at least 55 years old, and you must have a monthly income of 20,000 dirhams, cash savings of 1 million dirhams, right, and own a property with a minimum value of 2 million, right? And you also must hold valid UAE insurance. Okay, now for some people that are wealthy, they'll tick that box and they'll be happy to stay here and live the life that it is, right? But for the vast majority of people, there's an expiry date and you'll move on, right? And that's one of the things that I would be highlighting to people when I meet with them, right? Are you saving enough to justify your time here and making sure that you make a mark? Yeah. So in terms of AUM, that's something that you can also build through regular savings plans, okay? Probably in my time here, even though it's close to new business now, Zurich were the biggest company in terms of selling regular savings plans, right? In fact, between IFAs and banks, right, Zurich have got 150,000 clients in the UAE, and they've got 4.5 billion worth of money invested, okay? So if you walk past somebody out there, there's a high chance that they've got a Vista, a Futura, or some form of investment with Zurich, okay? And if you're talking to someone, if you're networking, or if you're cold calling someone, and you can find out that they do have a Zurich investment, all you need to do is complete an appointment of advisor form, and you can bring that investment from whoever they're with, Holborn, AHR, and bring it over to Devere, right? When it becomes your client, your policy, okay? And again, that's where you can start to build assets under management, yeah? If you top that client up, okay, so if you increase their premium, there's a win straight away. You're going to start to get paid commission. If you've got any experience, guys, you'll know that it's easier for people to add to something that they've already got than it is to take out a new investment, yeah? So again, 4.5 billion, 150,000 clients. All you need to do is come across someone that isn't happy with the service that they're getting, the returns that they're getting, or they maybe just want a fresh face looking after their investments, right? There's so much opportunities out there, and probably Zurich's the main company that you'll come across, right? The AUM that Stuart and the guys have got, that's predominantly lump sum, right? So if someone's got a lump sum in the bank and they look to flip that over into an investment, or it's going to be a previous UK pension that they've transferred over, right? But like I say, with regular savings plans, with Zurich being the biggest company, there's a good chance that you can pick those up when you're out and about. And yeah, flip that over, it's your client. If you top it up, you're getting 100% commission. That would be different to receiving a client within the company, right, where you're going to get paid half of that, right? And obviously if the advisor's still here, half again, right? So even though it's a small win, right, you really want to be bringing your own clients on, right? So I would definitely advise that. And one of the things that I've noticed through my time here, if you meet with someone that's got an investment, they probably forgot the name of it, probably forgot the way it works, and if it hasn't been fruitful for them, they probably despise it. Right, so that's an opportunity for you to get in front of them. You need to understand the products, right? So you need to understand what a Futura is, you need to understand what a Vista is, how it works, right? You've got the ICP diagram. If you sign someone up, shows you the flow chart, how long they're locked in for, when they can access their money, right? If you start to ask probing questions like that, right, if the client can give you a little bit back, you'll probably start to understand what product it is that they've got, right? And then you can start to educate them further. And again, if you can get them to move that across, it's definitely an easy one for you. Yeah. Any questions so far, guys?
Can you just quickly run through the retiring in the UAE key facts?
Yeah. Right. So the visa is renewable every 5 years. Okay. You need to be at least 55 years old. And the financial requirements include having a monthly income of 20,000 per month, cash savings of 1 million dirhams, and owning a property with a minimum value of 2 million dirhams. And you must also have valid UE health insurance.
Thank you.
Yep. And again, for many people out here, they'll tick those boxes and they'll be happy to live out here for forevermore, right? But as we all know, it's an expensive place. And unless you're at a certain stage in the financial world, then again, you'd probably be looking to move elsewhere. So that's where that expiry date comes in, right? And that's where you need to motivate people, right? When we go into retirement planning and ultimately working with your fact find, that's where you need to disturb. That's where you need to motivate, right? That's where you need to get people to start to say, right, I really need to start saving. And you can think of two different people, right? You can think of the investor, right? The wealthy guy who does a lump sum or he's transferred a big pension, or you can just think of someone that's a saver, right? And someone that's a saver, they would fit under just having a regular savings plan, right? And as I position it with a client or a prospect, a regular savings plan is a structured and a disciplined way to save money. Yeah, you set it up, and at the end of every month or at the start of every month when their salary comes in, that money automatically goes away for their future. Okay. So when you're going into your into your fact find, guys, for me, you really need to double down on the budget sheet, right? And I would be confirming this with the client 2 or 3 times. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you how to go through the fact find. I'm sure there's other training and your manager's done that with you, but this is your biggest tool, right? If you don't disturb and motivate someone, they're never going to cross over that line to actually sign in business, right? Depending on the nationality, they may love to sit and meet and have a coffee with you, meet with you 2 or 3 times because they get on with you, right? But actually picking up the pen or signing the document, you'll never get them to do that unless you disturb them, right? Unless you motivate them to do that, right? If you do need training on fact finds, come to me and I'll help. Otherwise, your manager will do that, right? But when you do get into the fact find, you need to be thorough with their expenditure, right? There's no point in you having a conversation. They tell you roughly that they've got 3,000 or 4,000 dirhams or 10,000 dirhams at the end of every month. You then go back with a proposal and then they move the goalpost. Nah, I don't actually have that as a monthly income, right? Then you need to go back and start again, right? So I would go through the budget carefully with these people, right? And I would ask them 2 or 3 times throughout the course of the meeting, right? You're sure that that's what your monthly surplus is, right? Then you've got an understanding of what you can go away and propose to them when you come back to them, yeah? Now, if you've been on the course with Andy Chalklin or if you've just landed on the ground, I'm sure that you've been through the calculations for retirement planning, yeah? Yeah? Right, if you haven't done that, again, that'll be another training session, and you can write those calculations up on the fact find when you go through it, or some people these days have the Excel sheet. Right, I'm sure Claire showed you that, right, that Callum developed. I'm sure there's a couple other ones in the office as well, right? You go through that and it will just pump out the number what you need to save at the end of every month, right? So it's very easy to use, and it shows the client right in front of him what he or she needs to do to achieve their goals, yeah? If you do the Excel sheet, right, or you do the calculation, depending on how much money those people want in retirement, it's probably going to pump out an unrealistic figure that they need to save every month, right? I would preempt that before I started putting numbers in. Like for me, you don't want to dishearten people by producing a number at the end that they're never ever going to achieve, right? So I would preempt that before I started, but again, I'd be focusing on what they actually can save, right? 50% of their surplus, right? Making sure that they're in agreement with that, right? Walk before you run, right? Get the foundations down and we can build on that. Whether it be bonuses coming in the future, right? Or if they do increase their salary, it's something that they can always increase as well. Okay. Going back to that AUM with Zurich being one of the main companies, back in the day, it used to be 25-year terms, right? You would always find that somebody had a regular savings plan with a 25-year term. And us as a company a few years back decided to change that, right? So we put a maximum of 15 years, right? And as you'll know, the minimum is 5, okay? The reason behind that was you were finding that there was complaints coming in, people were cancelling their plans, never sticking to them, right? So we as a company reduced them to 15. Other companies still have 25, etc. However, if you do meet a prospect, they've got no savings, they're 50 years old and they really need, they're 50 years old and they maybe need something more than 15, right? I'm sure your manager would be in agreement to sign that off, right? But predominantly it's just 15 years. But of that 4.5 billion that's out there in the city, right, a lot of them are going to be 25-year plans, right? When you go through your fact find, guys, I'd be pushing hard on make sure you get the maximum of their surplus, right? Back in the day, you used to see people, I've done it myself as well, let's say they had 5,000 surplus, you used to start with maybe 3,000 with the mindset, right, I'll be able to top that up further down the line. Clients always find a way to spend money, right? So when you then come back to them maybe a year or 2 years down the line, they don't have that surplus anymore, right? So with day one, you should be pushing for the maximum 50% of the surplus, right? Get them in agreement with that. But that would be what I'd be pushing for, right? If they've got some pushback on that, then yeah, you need to find the sweet spot. And that just comes with having conversations with them as well. Okay. As I say, regular savings plans are going to be where you earn quick wins, right? And again, help you get off the ground. Yeah, if you get a $2,000 plan for 15 years, you've got £5,400 worth of commission, right? Okay, so it just shows you how quickly covers your retainer and then helps you kick on in front of that. Yep, and every single person needs to save for the retirement here, right? It's just about motivating them to actually do it. Yep. Any questions on that, guys? No? Okay. As I say, if you see anybody with regular savings plans as well, you'll see it in the office this week, or you may hear them talking about they're starting to get their trails emails out, okay? And again, that's just guys that have got clients' money in funds that actually pay a trail, right? So again, that can be another fruitful way of earning a good income over the course of the year, right? You times that, you get paid every quarter, depending on how much assets you've got under management. Even for someone with, I don't know, 10, 12 million under management, it's going to add 30 or 40,000 pounds to your income over the course of a year, right? So again, there's so much what I'm trying to stress, there's so much opportunity out there with people that have already got regular savings plans, right? 4.5 billion with one company, Zurich alone, right? Huge opportunities out there. Any questions that I can answer, guys? That's really everything that I've covered in terms of regular savings plans.
With Zurich, we cannot sign up any new plans with them?
So they're closed to new business, but if you find someone out there that's got a regular savings plan with Zurich, or a Futura, which is a kind of element of a life cover or critical illness, you can top those up, right? Yeah, basically when the changes come in with regards to commission, Zurich really got hit hard with it, so they closed the new business. But like I say, 150,000 clients in the UAE, 4.5 billion, right, assets that are out there, right? And I've done it so many times myself over the years. Just that change of advisor form, that's it, 2-page document, right? brings it from whatever company that they're working with or bank, brings it over to us, and then again it's your client forevermore.
With that, if they've done their 15 years, would you advise them then to like split that into a bond or a new product, a new savings plan? What would you do?
Yeah.
Leave it in the zero, would you?
No, I mean, come to the end of the 15 years of contractual term, then obviously the charging structure changes. But if you can take that lump sum and put it into a platform or a PPB, right, there's so much better investment opportunity, flexibility, right, then that would be definitely a conversation that I'd be having with people, right? And again, like I've picked up, and this is recently as well, like clients that started regular savings plans way back in 2000, right? Over $500,000 in a regular savings plan. And it's coming up to their maturity. So it's an easy job for me just to take that once they don't have any surrender penalty, flip that into something that I can then put a 1% charge on and build my AUM, right? But again, up until that point in time, there's opportunity to work with the client, right? Build that relationship, get them to add to it, right? And I can't stress enough, guys, that it's a simple one to get. If you've got a change of advisor over, it's easier to get somebody to add to that than it is to take out a new product, right? So don't turn your nose up at it if you come across someone with an investment already set up. And for you guys, it's like I say, time and again, it's easy wins for commission, gets you up and running, right? And then you can really start to flip that over into AUM like Stuart and the rest of the guys have got. Any other questions, guys?
Regarding the retirement plan for UAE, the house worth 2 million, that has to be mortgage free?
That I don't know. I would need to look into that. I don't think so, but I would need to look at do a bit more research into that. Yeah.
And that just gives them a 5-year visa every time, and as long as they keep that up, they get a new one.
Yeah. Just renewable. Yeah.
Okay.
But you guys live here. Like, apart from this, obviously it's an amazing place to live, right? But unless you've got a considerable amount of money, right, or you watch how you live, right, a lot of people would be like, right, I'm going to move somewhere, right? So there's an expiry point for everybody. And that's where you need to motivate them in the fact find, right? There's a line in the sand that you're going to come closer to every day. Are you saving enough, right? And again, if you look at the difference between, our target market, predominantly people from the UK, although we can help everybody, right? You save with a company or as an individual yourself into a pension back in the UK, there is no access to that until you're 55, right? No access to that. And then at 55 onwards, as you know, it'll be 25%, the rest fed to you throughout your life, right? In the international market, right, whether we call it a retirement plan or a regular savings plan, it works differently. Right, so I'd be highlighting that to clients as well, right? In the event that you need money, you can access this. We're going to lock away a part of it, a very small part of it, right? But again, you can start to access this in the case of emergency. An emergency isn't a holiday or a new handbag or shoes or whatever, right? It is your money, but so you can spend it for whatever reason, but flexibility is there, right? Access to money, and I've seen it so many times over the years as well with my clients lose their job, right, or a medical emergency because they've not taken out critical illness cover. They need to jump in here, right? A couple of documents, then the payment's made within 7 to 10 days, right? So that flexibility, that ability to access the money without penalties there, right? So also be highlighting the difference between a retirement plan in the UK to what you've got in the international market, right? The ability to, you're not committed for the rest of your life, you can take holidays, you can decrease the premium, right? You can increase it whenever you want, right? So again, just highlighting that flexibility. Yep. But again, disturb, motivate and encourage people, right? There's all the years I've been here, there's nobody ever walked through that door and asked for help, right? You need to go and find them, right? And even when you get introduced as a referral, you still need to disturb, motivate and encourage, right? Disturbing them with them not saved enough, breaking down all the calculations, motivating them to actually step over that line and actually pick something up. And again, getting them to buy into you, right? Any other questions, guys? No? All good? Cool, thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you very much.